So it's a couple days past Salt Lake Comic Con, and I've had about 4 more energy drinks than I should have as I finish this episode. It's not about what you think it's going to be about, mostly because I'm exhausted. I'm still exhausted. I had to go work at Real Job while the convention was also going on, so that happened. So this is still an episode, and it's still good work. But if I sound tired, that's why. Don't judge me. I did get Street Fighter pop figures. I thought you might want to see those. I've got Cammy White here, Street Fighter. They're all Street Fighter. I think I said that probably already. I've got Balrog here, who, as you know, is actually Mike Tyson. Before they had to change the names around because he did things. I've got the Electric Blanca, the pre-Pikachu, which is neat. I've got Chun-Li, her of the very strong legs. She's in a protector because she's shiny. You can see that she's pink there. See the reflection of everything going on right now. But she's pink, and yeah, that's. I've got Hot Ryu and Ken back thereabouts ways, and that's what I did for convention. I did other things, and it was great. I'm going to talk about some of them in this video, but just to say that I'm really tired, and I don't have a cold open or anything else for you. I just don't. Sorry. Do better next time. Maybe. Just watch this thing about voice actors. One of the things I genuinely enjoy about my state's little Comic-Con is its focus on getting talented voice actors. This year's group included talents such as Steve Blum, Fred Tatasciore, James Arnold Taylor, and Troy Baker, also known as the one that's not Nolan North. I'm kidding, Troy, you're pretty awesome and thanks for coming out. I love when these actors come out to the convention, partly because I'm a giant child that watches more cartoons than live-action television, but also because I'm a big fan of video games as well. And this year, I was spoiled for choice, which actually gave me pause to reflect on just how impactful a good voice actor can be in a game. During his panel, James Arnold Taylor spoke about how he never thought voicing video games was a possibility when he first decided to pursue the career of voice acting. That was a fair assessment then, given that games of the past had been made up of beeps and boops for sound. In fact, voiceovers are one of the few things that were directly added to games, as opposed to evolving out of what was already established. Being able to put a voice to a face allows games to give familiarity and understanding to those characters. And these voice actors carry almost all of the responsibility of actually injecting personality into these characters, as opposed to the characters standing on their own. Not to beat a dead horse or anything, but consider again the impressive response to Overwatch, a game that completely hinges on the ability to make every single character worth playing in comparison to the other characters. The unique character designs are intended to be an artistic representation of the technical goal, and a huge part of the success of this design is the difference of every character's voice, and those levels of characterization given to the voices. Soldier 76 is gruff and withered, but he exists right alongside the overly hopeful May and the stoic Farah. Several of these characters' lines have even become classics, from "It's high noon" to "Nerf this," becoming mimetic in their own right. And it's because of their delivery. It's not the meaning of the words themselves. We bond with these characters' lines. Chances are that there's a video game character you're thinking of right now that had an impact on your experience of the game they appeared in, and it's left a lasting impression on you. Here's an example of one of mine. Steve Blum plays Grunt in Mass Effect 2 and 3, and Grunt is one of my favorite video game characters ever. You see, Grunt is a pretty complicated character backstory-wise, which admittedly is par for the course in Mass Effect 2, but his is because he's a genetically engineered Krogan implanted with the history and legacy of his warrior people. But he was rejected by most of his incredibly proud race, something that Grunt understands why that occurred, which is different than you would normally find in such a narrative. See, he's actually programmed to be as Krogan as possible, and he's a proud warrior who's trying to find his place among other proud warriors, while at the same time knowing he isn't really one of them in the same way. Now, this might sound like a teenager trying to find his place in the world kind of story, and to be frank, yeah, it is. But Bloom is able to add an affectation to Grunt that keeps the character from wandering off into what one might call, whiny. Grunt carries a certainty about the actions he's taking, but his voice performance allows for a sense of disinterest, suggesting that he's very much aware that nothing will actually change about the situation he finds himself in. And then, when that story does make a change, there's a genuine shift in the delivery of his lines that simply cannot be properly communicated through a generic just reading of script or just having the dialogue written on the screen. Instead, we see a genuine personality shift. And, quite frankly, voice actors don't get the credit that they deserve. Going back to James Arnold Taylor's panel at SLCC, he spoke of what recording a video game actually contains, and it is one complicated experience.
Why are they so tough? Well, because you've got so many different ways to go. We did Final Fantasy X. The script was like a phone book, you know? It was 3.5 months of work. And then you have to go through all of the fighting and death sound effects. And then, well, let me give you an example.
Okay, James, we need some fighting and death sounds from you. First, you're getting punched. Now you're the one doing the punching. Great. Now you're jumping. And landing. Give a laugh when you jump. But you're sad when you land. You're falling off a single-story roof. How about 2 stories? Now off a huge cliff, never to be seen again. You're being electrocuted? Can you add some more jitter to it? And some futzing? Yeah, it's less painful and more bizarre. Okay, now let's do a combo. You've been kicked in the gut, picked up, thrown off a 3-story building, and landed in a pit of fire. You jump out and are electrocuted. You save yourself by jumping into some water, but then realize there's a sea monster in it, and it tries to eat you, and then spit you out, and you're okay after all. All right, that was a great rehearsal. Now let's take it from the top and actually record this one.
He compared the script for Final Fantasy X, where he plays Titus, to a classical phone book, and that's what this is for those of you who have never seen one, as opposed to a normal script, even for recurring cartoon shows. Voice actors also have to record literally every sound that might escape a character when an action is taken in the game, such as when they get hit, they jump, skip, dance, punch, whatever else. And actors will record take after take after take for hours and hours longer than other projects that even they do, so that they can build personality into these characters that we love. All of that is on top of the fact that the most professional voice actors are treated like 2-bit performers found on the street that just happen to walk in the building at the right time. Voice actors are often considered performer monkeys, expected to do things like motion capture, which is an entirely different job. They get shafted out of royalties that would never happen in another medium, and often can be just completely replaced anytime some screen actor decides they want to dabble in another medium. Such as when the voice actor for Metal Gear Solid Snake for several years got kicked to the curb in favor of Jack Bauer for no reason. Thanks for that one, Konami. In fact, these actors began to unionize last year and have been on a standoff with game publishers and cartoon networks. Not just the Cartoon Network, but you know what I mean. As of just this May, the union, SAGAFTRA, that's a mouthful, has been working with California's Division of Occupational Safety and Health to investigate claims that actors are being forced to work so long and so hard, it is damaging the most important part of their lives, their voices. Now, if you couldn't tell, you wouldn't want actors to strike because that can impact the games that we play. But the voices of these actors are simply more important. Game companies need to absolutely put more effort into taking care of a very important part of what makes games great for us. And it is worth pointing out too that there are plenty of people with hands in game development that also deserve this decency and respect. And we can do more too. Take some time to appreciate the people who make the games that we love and the effort that they put in to make them special. Thank a voice actor on Twitter, or go see them at a con. Be willing to call out a company on mistreatment of an actor or a developer. Read the credits of the game at the end. There's a simple yet effective way to appreciate some digital art just a little bit more. Plus, it can help you find more performances in other games and you might discover something that you've never tried before. Frankly, if we care more about the vocal performances of the characters that we love, everyone else in this medium will too. So, thanks to you, voice actors. I don't know what we'd do without you. Okay, so YouTube did a thing again, and have apparently been taking monetization away from videos that aren't advertiser friendly. And while there's plenty of weird, bizarre things that we could definitely talk about, quite frankly, the only thing that matters right now in this second is that this is still not inherent censorship. Can we please stop using that word incorrectly, please? Thank you.
2 weeks later, a great building of two students, 3rd years and older, each clutching a permission form.
Are you sure? You sure? Is this a passive aggressive thing or are you totally good?
Here, Troy, there's a seat over here at the kids' table.
We can half cheek it. I love that you're here. I love you too.
I just had time for number 1, now I've got time for number 2.
It's like cartoon Brokeback Mountain, dude.